So good morning from the bowels of Lunder Library. Quick video here to get you squared away for week 6. First and foremost, I want to thank you for all the work that you've done so far this semester. I realize that in particular an online writing class can be very work intensive, and you guys are doing really well to keep up with all of the deadlines and to keep the ball rolling, so to speak. So we're really transitioning now into our technical review assignment, and we're starting to think carefully about what it means to usefully and adequately assess something. And in this case, we're writing about a product with which we have some level of experience and expertise. So let's talk about that really quickly. I've just had a chance to sort of glance at people's technical reviews, and I'll be giving individual feedback on those in the feedback forum by Thursday. And I expect that you will carefully read and evaluate and help to improve your partner's technical reviews in the feedback forum. So a few things that I really want you to be mindful of as you're reading those reviews. One is there a clear takeaway message, what I call the one friggin' thing, from the review? Do you really get a sense for how this person feels about that particular product? And it should be sort of like a one-sentence Cliff's Notes version of it, and I give you some examples of what that looks like in your review question, so you can take a look at that. But you should walk away with a pretty clear sense of how that person feels about that product. Now, writers, I want you to keep in mind, you're reviewing or assessing this particular product. You're not selling it to me. And so I want you to be objective, and I want you to provide your honest personal experience and assessment of that product. And so, every semester I get folks that are really trying to market the product or who only have great things to say about it. And even the best products that we use, or the best pieces of equipment we have small problems or small issues. And we would like to hear about those. And I think that the student example that I've provided for you does a really nice job of having a generally positive experience with a product, but identifying some of the things that maybe could make it even better. So I want you to keep that in mind as we go. The other thing I want you to think about are the criteria that you use, and depending on the product, you're going to have a wide variety of criteria that matter, from things as specific as battery life to things as general as durability or life expectancy and those types of things. And one of the things I noticed is that folks don't seem to have that many criteria in their technical reviews, and so you want to make sure that you're hitting on all of the important things. That doesn't mean you have to get into the sort of insignificant minutia of the particular product, but really think carefully about the types of things people take into account when they're looking to purchase or acquire that thing. And so make sure that you're sort of providing that holistic or total review of the product, and that you're not just focusing on one or two things when really 5 or 6 things matter. So keep that tucked in the back of your brain as you're reading your partner's reviews. Make sure that they're touching on all of the things that you think a reader would really care about, and think about that as you revise. Are there any other attributes or elements that really matter when we're looking at that particular type of thing? And then the final thing I want you to think about as we work on our reviews is that really when we're assessing something, we're making a series of claims about that product, that service, that person, and we really have to think carefully about how we support those claims. So if you say that something is the most durable thing you've ever used, or that it's the easiest to use, or the setup was a breeze, then you really ought to provide some evidence of what that looks like. And we have sort of a palette of evidence that we can choose from here. One, we can talk about the physical characteristics of that particular thing, so the technology that it uses, the materials that it's made of, the way that it's designed. And so we can really, physically describe what this thing is and how it works. Now, this is where we have to be really careful about using jargon, because a lot of times when we're talking about technology or we're talking about materials or proprietary type parts of a thing, we can get really into the weeds. And so what you have to be really careful of is that your reader will be able to appreciate what you're talking about. So if you say your truck has a limited slip rear differential or whatever, make sure the reader knows what that looks like. And one of the ways that we can really capture that is by providing personal experience. And so, if you're referencing a fabric or a material, make sure that we know why that matters. And make sure that you are illustrating those sort of abstract ideas or concepts with sort of tangible things that somebody can make sense of. And then finally, another way that we can really add another dimension to our reviews is making sure that we're providing useful and adequate comparisons across those things. And that's something that I think really makes a review useful, is your ability to compare it to things that it's similar to, because that really provides us a level of context and really a framework against which to look at these things. So the devil really is in the details when we start talking about reviews. In this class, reviews that aren't so successful are the ones that fly at a high level of abstraction, that make a lot of bold or significant claims but don't really support them with clear evidence. And so I really want you to spend some time reviewing not only your partners but your own reviews, and ask yourself, are they really providing me with the level of detail that I would need or that I would want to find this review credible? Ultimately, when we're, as consumers, if you think about it, when we're on Amazon or we're on some other website and we're reading these reviews, we tend to take the ones that are the most specific the most seriously, and the ones that those tend to have the most credibility. So one of the things I say a lot is that specificity is credibility. Now, that's not always true. We can be specific and be completely full of it. But generally speaking, if somebody can illustrate their claims with clear evidence and clear support, we're much more likely to take that seriously. And that's something that we've been working on in a variety of ways so far in this class. You did that in your cover letter, and we'll continue to do that in a variety of other contexts as the semester rolls on. So those are just some things I really want you to think about. Make sure you have enough criteria. I mean, in other words, make sure that you're painting a complete portrait of the product. Don't just zoom in on one or two things. Make sure that you're sort of evaluating that thing holistically, and then really pay attention to the claims that you're making and how well you support them, because ultimately that's going to lead to a level of usefulness that we're really looking for. Usefulness is the thing that we're after as technical writers. Whether we're writing a set of instructions, or we're writing a cover letter, or we're writing this particular review, we want to make sure that our writing is useful to our reader, that it solves the problem that they come to us with. And so I want you to think really carefully about that. Am I doing enough here to help them make that decision or to solve that problem for them? Finally, I'll have a chance, hopefully by the end of the week, to review and grade and provide feedback on your resumes and cover letters. And just keep in mind that those documents are eligible for revision. And so if you're not happy with your grade, or you realize that there's probably still some growth that could happen there, please feel free to revise those and resubmit those. All I ask is that you write a brief description of what you've done to improve that document, so that I know that you're not just doing exactly what I said, but that you're doing something that will be useful to your reader and that will improve the overall effectiveness of that document. So good luck. Please spend some time carefully reading and assessing your partner's review, and take the time to ask questions. If something's not clear, ask them what they mean. If they make a claim, ask them to illustrate that claim in some way, or to provide evidence of that claim. And so those questions will be really helpful in helping to push these reviews forward. And so I look forward to seeing all the activity that invariably happens in the feedback forum, and I also look forward to reading each of your reviews carefully and providing my own feedback on those. As always, if you need anything, please call, text, or email, and I'm happy to help you. I'm on campus all the time, so if you ever need any individual assistance, I'm happy to meet with you in any way that makes sense to you. So thanks a lot, and good luck in week 6.